Thank you so much for attending the live stream with IT Accel. We had so many questions we did not have the opportunity to answer every single one, so we're going to answer your questions right now. We have an exciting announcement coming Monday, November 1st, so please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell, and follow us on LinkedIn to be notified of this special event. This question is from B3 Collector. Have you seen any common requirements for a cloud architect? B3 Collector, absolutely. The kind of requirements we constantly see for cloud architects are as follows. Good business acumen, good communication skills, good emotional intelligence, and excellent presentation skills, and excellent written documentation skills. We typically see a request for substantial knowledge of the network and the data center technologies, because those are the technologies that the cloud architect works with. Either they work with the virtualized version of these technologies in the cloud, or the cloud architect is working with the original versions of these in the network and the data center on the way to the cloud. Or the cloud architect is still working with these technologies because they're setting up, say, an OpenStack Ansible hybrid cloud or a Nutanix cloud that's also going to be connecting to a public cloud such as AWS or Azure or Google. So these are the kind of things we typically see B3 Collector that employers are looking for from a cloud architect. Now you also asked a second question, B3 Collector. Are cloud architect jobs short-term or long-term projects? Well, the answer is, it depends. Now I hate to give you that technology answer because everything is an it depends answer. But the reality is you could be on a one-day project as an architect where you literally meet with someone and it's something so small and you can design it while you're there. Or you could be on a project where it could take you a team of 100 engineers that are going to be with you for 6 months, and they're literally going to be evaluating an organization's systems and helping you ask a series of questions long before you can even think about the architecture. So it really does vary, and it can vary a lot. This question is from Victor William. Do recruiters work with candidates seeking jobs for all kinds of jobs and all over the world? And Victor William, here's the thing. Recruiters are in abundance. There are people that focus on executive positions. There are people that focus on technology positions. There's recruiters that focus specifically on, say, security or specifically networking. So there's lots of recruiters. Recruiters typically operate in a certain geographic area. Now that doesn't mean there are not national recruiters like IT Accel, but a lot of recruiters are geographic specific, meaning you might have a recruiter in the Philadelphia metro that covers the Philadelphia area. But again, as with anything else, there are some recruiting firms that have national as well as global reach, and other ones that have local reach. So check with the recruiter. B. Ben, how much traveling does a cloud architect do? Well, B. Ben, architects can do a little travel or a lot of travel. And it really is going to depend upon the type of architect. For example, that are architects that are more on the technical side. They're called technical architects or technical solutions architects. And they may actually do a little less travel. They may actually be in the office more or a little more remote, and they may be functioning very deeply on technical projects, and they may be in front of the computer. There are other types of architects like me that are more on the enterprise architect side that focus much more on the pre-sales and the end-to-end transformation. And architects like me could be traveling 5 days a week. So it really does depend. I would say the average architect would probably travel 30 to 50% of the time, but the rest of the time they're going to be in an office. And even the 30 to 50% of the time that architects travel, it's good travel, it's comfortable travel. It's not like engineering travel where you're going to travel somewhere and you're going to be working until 6 o'clock in the morning trying to fix something throughout the night. It's convenient travel where you travel, you get on site, you get some rest, the next morning you meet with a client, maybe you give a presentation, you take a client to lunch, and then you head back home. So as a rule, the travel for the architect is much less fatiguing than the travel for the engineer, because you got to remember, we're going in, we're giving a speech, we're giving a presentation, we're asking some questions, we're baselining some current systems, we're leading a group of people. We're not actually going to be on that computer with those long hours in the middle of the night actually making configuration changes. So hope we answered your question there. This next question is from Rohan Fernandez. Can you do Azure and Linux bootcamps in the future too? Rohan will consider it. This next question is from CEO Trell. Is there an influx of Azure architect roles, and do they pay more? So CEO Trell, yes, it does appear that there is a massive influx of Azure architect roles. There was a business decision made by one of the cloud providers with regards to who was allowed to stay in their cloud about 9 months ago. And that decision caused other people to think about hybrid clouds and multi-cloud environments and backup cloud providers. And Azure is on the list of cloud providers that are extremely business friendly. And it looks like Azure is taking a substantial amount of market share and growing that market share rapidly. Now, the second half of your question is, do these roles pay more than AWS roles? CEO Trell, you're asking completely the wrong question on this one. What determines what people get paid specifically in architecture is their technical competency, their emotional intelligence, their soft skills, their executive presence, their communication skills, and their writing skills. These skills, CEO Trell, can make a $200,000 difference in someone's salary. Someone's certification plus or minus $10,000 is what we're really talking about. So the issue is not which role pays more, it's how do you earn more in your role. And you earn more in your role by being more professional. Having better business acumen. If you have better business acumen, you can make much greater transformations for your customers, which makes you worth more. If you have better communication skills, you can connect better with your customers, ask the right questions, make better architectures, which can have a bigger transformation benefit for your customers, which makes you work more. If you can communicate well and have great soft skills, you can lead an architecture team, which can help your clients more, which makes you worth more. So it has nothing to do with the certification piece, and it has nothing to do with which cloud overall. Now, granted, in the short term, one cloud may pay more than the other, and it has nothing to do with the cloud. It has to do with supply and demand curves. Meaning, if there's just a shortage of qualified people on one cloud and there's a huge demand, that person will be paid a lot. If there is a surplus of people on that one cloud and no demand, that person will be paid very little. So these are the things that affect salary. It has nothing to do with which vendor you're actually working on. This next question comes from Daniel Pike. Mike, how do you know when you're ready to send out resumes for a cloud architect job? Daniel Pike, that's a great question. Daniel, when in your heart and in your mind you can think of how to secure a cloud or an enterprise from end to end without thinking about it, you know you have the security. When you know how to move applications from the network and the data center to the cloud without thinking about it, you're ready. When you can think of the architecture for common environments, e-commerce environments, and you know how to set them up without thinking about it, and you know what to do for retail environments, and you know what to do for financial environments and healthcare environments, and you've got that kind of architectural knowledge, you're ready to go apply for those jobs. So make sure you're ready to be able to do the job before you apply for the job, and you'll be ready. This next question is from Victor William. Do you also train candidates for DevOps roles? Victor, we currently do not train candidates for DevOps roles, and the reason is I am not a DevOps engineer, and I want to make sure everything that we teach we are experts at. Now, having said that, we're about 3 months away from releasing our How to Get Your First DevOps engineering job program, and that program is a collaboration between me and Sandeep Das. My world for the last 20 years has been helping people get their first tech job, regardless of what that is. And Sandeep Das is an expert DevOps engineer. So together we're releasing a How to Get Your First DevOps job program. But I need to do it with Sandeep because I am not a DevOps engineer. So we will have something for that within 3 months. This next question is from Valentine. For a developer with 10 years experience, wouldn't it be good for them to go into DevOps? DevOps is so natural for developers. Valentine, that's completely up to you. If you enjoy DevOps, DevOps is a great field. If you don't enjoy DevOps and you're tired of engineering and you choose to do something different, that is fine too. See, you don't have to take the job that's easiest for you. You can take the job that you actually desire. But do I think DevOps is a great role? The answer is I think it's a fantastic role, and I think it's a fantastic career of the future as well. Do I think it's a great place for software developers to go to DevOps? I think it is great. But if you're here because you're curious about cloud architecture, that's fine too. We would just have to train you to make sure you knew the network and the data center and had the business acumen and all the other skills. The reason I'm saying this is while I think DevOps is great and I think it's a natural transition, I think we can all do any career that we like. I was a nurse practitioner practicing internal medicine before I moved into network architecture and cloud architecture or enterprise architecture or any of the other kind of architect jobs that I had. So it's not a matter of what's easiest, it's a matter of what you want. Next question is from Jordan Bridgewater. Can you become a cloud architect without a degree? Jordan, absolutely you can become a cloud architect without a degree. Now, I will say there are some employers that mandate a degree, and there are others that just don't care. The answer is you can become a cloud architect without a degree. You can do very well, but it will affect you negatively in some ways. Some employers, for example, just want a degree, no matter what. But there are many employers that don't, and for the most part in tech, it is so hard to find someone that's actually capable and competent. If you're capable and competent and pleasant to be around and you communicate well, you will have no problem getting a cloud architect job. This next question is from Jeremy Wright. Are you seeing any apprenticeships for cloud professionals, not internships? So Jeremy, the types of apprenticeships that I'm familiar with are things like, for example, let's say you've got someone that just finished their master's degree and they're certified and they're really pleasant to be around and they've got good communication skills, but they don't have the real knowledge for the job. But they're close. A lot of times organizations have you've just graduated college or you've just graduated your master's degree program, and they take you in as what's called an associate. So they'd make you like a cloud architect associate. And in these organizations, they put you in training for 6 to 9 months, and they pay you during the 6 to 9 months when they're training you. And when you're done and you graduate that program, you take a junior cloud architect job. There are global organizations that have these programs. They are extremely competitive, meaning, there may only be 200 of them a year at all the cloud providers total. But there are some of them, and they do exist, that they're out there. This next question is from Alan Rossthorn. Do you have some graphs showing the current and predicted growth of the cloud architect jobs? After digital transformation, will it continue? So Alan, again, this is one of these things where even if we had a graph that predicted job growth, it wouldn't make any sense and we'd have to question the assumptions. What you could or should do instead is actually look at the industry trends. So as it stands right now, a very, very small percentage, meaning less than 20% of all organizations are on the cloud. And in the next 10 years, it's predicted that about 80% of them will be. So there is going to be huge demand for architects moving forward because it takes a lot of people to take people from the network and the data center to the moving to the cloud. Now, after it continues, will there still be lots of jobs for cloud architects? Now, I think it depends on the kind of cloud architect you become. And here's what I mean by that. So there are cloud architects that just focus on being technical. They're like the technical solutions architects. These are people that are really good with the technology. They're a cross between an engineer and an architect. Once everything's designed and built, there's not a lot of need for these people. Now, if you're a transformational architect, the kind we train, the kind that kind of have these cloud architect, enterprise architect hybrid skills, and you've got good business acumen, which means you can understand the C-level, interact with the C-level executives, and then create a transformational solution to help an organization be more profitable, increase their revenue, decrease their expenses, perhaps by increasing employee productivity, increasing the relationships between customers and partners and customers and organizations. If you can do these kind of things in a transformational manner, Alan, you will always have a job no matter what. No matter what changes in the industry, you will always be needed. So it depends on the kind of architect you become. But even for the technical architects, the ones that stay pure technical, of which it's really hard to get a job that way and they pay so much less. So I don't know why somebody would not want to focus on the transformation. But even for the technical people that aren't going to focus as much on the transformation, they probably have 20 good years of their career ahead of them, long before they have to think about anything else. Because it's going to take at least 10 years to get a percentage of the market to the cloud. And even the percentage of the market that we get to the cloud, most of that's going to be in a lift and shift environment, and none of the transformation is going to occur there. The next generation of transformation is if and when people are willing to adopt the transformative changes that can occur with the cloud providers, which no one's willing to do now. And then we start using more cloud native and more multi-cloud solutions, and then the cloud becomes incredibly transformational. And I'd say it probably takes us 10 years to get everybody to the cloud and another 10 years to really do the transformation. So I think we'll be very busy for a long period of time. It was so nice having you join us for this video today. Let me tell you about some free services we do for the cloud community. Twice per week, we have a free How to Get Your First Cloud Architect Job webinar, where we tell you all the things you need to do and know to get your first cloud architect job. In addition to that, once per week, we actually have a free question and answer session live on YouTube, where you can come and ask us any questions you want about building your career related to cloud computing or networking, and we'll answer them in real time for you because we want to get you to your goals. Several more times per week, we have guests from industry experts that I've known for decades that are movers and shakers that have changed the world, that can give you information so you can build the best career. I invite them periodically. They are on my show. If there's a chance to do some free training on our channel, we'll do it live because we want you all to have the best skills for the best career. So please subscribe and hit the bell. I look forward to seeing you, and I look forward to assisting you in your technology career. Thank you so much. This is Michael Gibbs from Go Cloud Architects.